Each week we take time on our service to talk about generosity, how we can steward the resources that God has faithfully provided us through avenues like tithe and offering to fuel the mission, which we talk about all the time, of being disciples that make disciples. And 1 week out of each month, we take time to look over the financial realities of the previous month. All right, because as I say every time, this is our church. You should always know how we're doing. How are we stewarding God's resources, His provision for us as Oasis Home Church? And I've got a slide that's going to show the financial realities for the month of March. I know we're almost into May, so sorry this is a little bit later, but let's look back and see how we did in March. And as you can see, our income for March was $10,055, while the expenses were $12,223, meaning we ended the month with a deficit of $2,169. And you see there overall to date for 2022, we're at $2,949 below our targeted giving for the year. And I want you to know that most of that deficit is from this last month, which you may be wondering, like, what happened there? Well, I want you to know that our giving thus far has been very generous, right? You are a generous people, Oasis. And we have some bigger chunk expenses that come out during the year, things like property insurance and taxes, which aren't month-to-month things, but just kind of one-time bigger purchases. And we have one of those expenses in March. But as we move forward, like, that will begin to look different. And Lord willing, there'll be start to be months where there is a net positive for the income, and we'll start to see us begin to continue to dig out of that deficit that we're in. And we're continuing to trust the Lord. And the Board of Administration and myself are continuing to be very faithful with stewarding our generosity as a church. But one area I want to continue to celebrate, right, as we go back to that image, is our missions giving as a church. To date, our missions pledge of that $7,000, we've got about $1,775 that needs to be raised, and we've had over $2,000, $2,225 come in. Like, that's amazing. Again, you are a generous people, Oasis. And I love that we get to bless our missions partners and help them carry God's commission to every corner of the globe. Thank you for your continued and faithful generosity, Oasis.